This belt right here, this belt right here, this belt, this shit's ugly as Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's good, Bang Gang? It's your boy Johnny Go Bang, back with another banging video. Today we're gonna do something just a little bit different from what we used to do. You know, we usually would highlight an indie wrestler that's up and coming on the indie scene, you know, give them a little shine, watch the matches, give a good little review, and see if, you know, they could be the next WWE superstar. However, we're doing a little something different today. We're gonna actually review real superstars, real WWE icons, because a lot of them were created during the generation of wrestling when I wasn't really watching. I was a huge Attitude Era fan. That was my heyday. That was my childhood. I watched wrestling religiously back then. However, the boy grew up, went to college, got interested in girls, kind of fell off with the wrestling a little bit. But I'm back now, and I've been on a mission to actually... What have I been on a mission for?
A few moments later.
I've been on a mission to catch up on all of that wrestling that I missed from the Ruthless Aggression era all the way to the PG era. So we're going to give it a start with the biggest star that has actually come out of either one of those eras, man, Mr. John Cena. And I will say what John Cena is today is a big difference from what I remember him as. Because when I remember him, as far as wrestling, he was still a newbie, still lightweight, a jobber. And he would rap coming to the ring. He wore this big, like, bicycle chain or like big chain with a big ass lock around it and some throwback jersey and a hat. So that was the last time I seen him. I could have swore he wasn't gonna make it. That was the biggest gimmicky gimmick that I'd ever seen in my life. But all these years later, he ends up being a 17-time world champion, gets a whole retirement tour, even though WWE that up. We'll talk about that in another video. But gets a whole retirement tour, 17-time champion, an absolute legend, an absolute icon, man. And he's actually transcended beyond wrestling, which is rare. So we're gonna watch a little video on John Cena. Shout out to Wrestle Fusion for the video. We really want to see just how good Prime John Cena was. So let's get into the video.
When it comes to the world of pro wrestling, John Cena is easily one of the most polarizing names in history. But before joining Hollywood and becoming a household name, there was a time when John Cena was simply the hottest thing in the WWE. From a rapper who wore jean shorts and threw up hand gestures to a 17-time world champion, Cena dominated WWE for over a decade and inspired millions of fans worldwide. But how good was John Cena actually in his prime? What were the classic matches, unforgettable moments, and epic stories that defined his legendary run? How does he stack up against icons like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin? Let's take a trip down memory lane and break down his meteoric rise, relive his most controversial stories, and figure out once and for all just how good Super Cena really was when he ruled WWE.
Cena's rise to superstar.
By 2004, Cena had already made a name for himself with his rapper gimmick. The guy was spitting bars, wearing chain gang attire, and the crowd ate it up. But Cena's rise to the main event truly began back at Royal Rumble 2005. Despite failing to win the match, Cena made it to the final two before being eliminated by Batista. Raw had a new face in the form of Batista, but SmackDown still needed a marquee star to carry the show. That's when Cena stepped up to the plate. At No Way Out, Cena defeated Kurt Angle to earn the right to challenge for the WWE Championship, and that's when his rise truly started. At WrestleMania 21, Cena walked into the match against JBL as the underdog, but he walked out as WWE Champion for the first time. On that night, a star was born, and Cena never looked back. Cena quickly cemented himself as a legit main event star by defending his WWE Championship against JBL in an I Quit match just a few weeks later. He also introduced that spinning championship belt that became iconic, but also drove wrestling purists absolutely crazy.
Hold up. Wait. This belt right here, this belt right here, this belt, this shit is ugly as I can't believe that Vince even allowed this shit to be put on TV. This was the most basic, generic, fake championship belt I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And people actually loved this. Yeah.
One eternity later.
Y'all really like this belt too. And then not only that, he followed it up with an even uglier belt.
Wrestling purists absolutely.
This belt is even worse. He followed up with an even uglier belt, and y'all love that too.
Crazy. Then came the 2005 draft. Cena got picked first overall to Monday Night Raw, and suddenly the WWE Championship is on the red brand. This was huge. Raw was the flagship show, and Cena was now their top guy. But here's where things get interesting. Eric Bischoff, Raw's general manager, immediately had it out for Cena. Why? Because Cena refused to play politics with the whole ECW invasion angle. The man had principles, even if it meant butting heads with management on screen. Bischoff handpicked Chris Jericho to take Cena down, and just like that, Cena had his work cut out for him. Even though Cena retained against Jericho at SummerSlam, something weird started happening during these matches. The crowd wasn't completely behind Cena anymore. Some fans actually cheered for Jericho and started booing Cena. This wasn't an one-time occurrence either. With each appearance,
Cena lived long enough to see himself become a villain?
Cena kept showing up, putting up a fight, and walking out still the champion. Kurt Angle stepped up as the next challenger. The same guy Cena defeated at No Way Out to earn a shot at the WWE Championship was back for vengeance. Angle brought his technical wrestling style, and Cena had to dig deep to hang with the greatest Olympic athlete ever to step foot in a WWE ring. This period also saw Cena develop the STFU, his submission finisher that became just as feared as his attitude adjustment. By early 2006, Cena had successfully defended his WWE Championship against legends, technical wizards, and everything in between. He was drawing massive crowds, moving merchandise like crazy, and
I know this is a delayed reaction here. What are these? These are Reeboks? Why did Reebok make a shoe that looked like a Jordan 4? And it's ugly. Oh, and John, why did you wear them? You got enough money to just buy the real Jordan 4s, dude. You could probably call Jordan himself and get them hand delivered.
And becoming the undisputed face of the company. Kids loved him, adults despised him, and WWE finally had their next big superstar. He was on top of the world, the crowd was mostly behind him, and everything seemed perfect for WWE's golden boy. But then, New Year's Revolution 2006 took place, and what happened next would define not just Cena's career, but create one of the greatest rivalries in wrestling history.
Cena's arch
The Elimination
nemesis.
Chamber match at New Year's Revolution seems like just another successful title defense.
Who was the ops?
Cena eliminated Carlito last and looked ready to celebrate another victory. But then Vince McMahon's music hit, and everything changed forever. Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and with two devastating spears, the landscape of WWE shifted dramatically. The crowd was stunned into silence. For the first time in months, they seemed genuinely shocked that Cena had lost.
Fake-ass Jordans.
But here's the thing about John Cena. The man never stayed down for long. 3 weeks later at the Royal Rumble, he won the title right back from Edge. And just like that, one of the greatest rivalries in WWE history was born. Edge wasn't just another opponent. He was everything Cena wasn't. The ultimate opportunist, the rated R superstar who played by his own rules. He was the Joker to Cena's Batman. They were polar opposites, and their chemistry was off the charts. Their feud took them everywhere. And the next chapter in the Cena-Edge saga came at ECW One Night Stand 2006. Picture this. The Hammerstein Ballroom, packed with hardcore ECW fans who grew up on blood, sweat, and extreme rules. And here comes John Cena, the poster boy for WWE's corporate machine, to defend his championship against Rob Van Dam,
he looked like
the
he was
people's
in a
champion
lion
of
cage.
ECW. The crowd absolutely
He
destroyed
so
Cena
out
that
of
night,
place,
insulting
like, they had
chants,
that
vile
man in a
remarks.
lion's
They
cage
threw
that night.
everything at him. But here's what made this moment legendary. Cena didn't break. He absorbed every bit of that
They
hatred
threw his
and kept fighting. This was the birth of the split crowd phenomenon, which became WWE's soundtrack for the next decade.
Cena sucks.
Half the arena would chant for Cena, while the other would tell Cena that he sucks. When Edge interfered and cost Cena the title, the ECW fans were overjoyed, and the Edge-Cena rivalry had just added another chapter. Edge regained the championship from RVD in July, and the Cena-Edge rivalry reached new heights. Edge introduced his own version of the spinning title belt, but Cena wasn't having it. At Unforgiven 2006, in Edge's hometown of Toronto no less, Cena climbed a ladder and put Edge through 2 tables to win back his championship. By late 2006, Cena was feuding with everyone from celebrities like Kevin Federline to savages like Lashley and monsters like Umaga. Each feud tested different aspects of his character. Against Federline, he showed he could handle celebrity nonsense. Against Umaga, he proved he could overcome seemingly impossible odds. Then came the tag team run with Shawn Michaels. 2 generations of WWE superstars holding the World Tag Team Championships together. But of course, HBK being HBK, he eventually turned on Cena, cost them the titles, and set up the WrestleMania 23 showdown.
That's what I like.
That match against Michaels was Cena at his absolute peak. Two of the greatest performers in WWE history, one ring, and the WWE Championship on the line. Cena proved he belonged in the same conversation as Mr. WrestleMania himself. By summer 2007, after conquering the Great Khali and surviving Randy Orton's mind games, Cena seemed unstoppable. He had the longest WWE Championship reign in nearly 2 decades. The crowd reactions were split but passionate, and he was clearly the biggest star in the company. But on October 1st, 2007, during what seemed like a routine match against Mr. Kennedy, Cena's body finally said enough.
A Royal Rumble
surprise. On October 1st, 2007, a routine match against Mr. Kennedy turned into a nightmare. Cena tore his pectoral muscle completely off the bone, and the doctors gave him 6 months to a year of recovery. WWE stripped him of the championship, and for the first time in over a year, Monday Night Raw didn't revolve around John Cena. Most stars would just relax through the recovery phase and collect paychecks sitting at home. They would come back as a mid-carder and blame luck for getting sidelined during their prime. But not Cena. He was built different. In fact, this is where the legend of Super Cena truly began. January 27, 2008, the Royal Rumble. 29 wrestlers had already entered, and the crowd was settling in for the final participant.
I kind of feel like
then that familiar music hit.
If you leave on an injury and then you come back and you are mid-carder,
his feuds with Randy Orton during this period were absolutely brutal.
You was never that great.
We're talking about two guys who genuinely seemed to hate each other.
And you was
their
eventually
I Quit
lose
match
that
at Point 2009 was a masterclass in storytelling.
It's some
then there was the
that
epic
just
Iron
no
Man
matter
match
how
against
long they're
Orton
out,
at Bragging
gonna
Rights. 60 minutes of pure savagery, and Cena pulled out the victory in the final seconds. This period also saw Cena win the World Heavyweight Championship for a brief while and defend it against names like Edge, Big Show, and Chris Jericho. But the biggest thorn in Cena's path during this era was none other than the animal, Batista, the same man who had eliminated Cena from the 2005 Royal Rumble. 5 years later, both of them crossed paths once again, and what followed was carnage. These two had history as friends, but by 2010, their friendship had turned into one of the most personal feuds in WWE. Batista turned heel and became Vince's golden boy, while Cena kept fighting and never gave up in his battle against the corporate animal. Cena's surprising loss to Sheamus at TLC showed that WWE was willing to take risks with their biggest star. Sheamus was relatively unknown, but by putting him over, Cena instantly made him a legit main event player. What made Super Cena so compelling wasn't just the victories, it was how he earned them. Every comeback felt earned. Every title victory came after genuine adversity. Sure, the guy seemed to have 9 lives, but he used every single one of them to create unforgettable moments. By early 2010, Cena had established himself as more than just WWE's top guy. He was a legit cultural phenomenon, a wrestler who transcended the business itself. Kids wore his merchandise to school, adults argued about his in-ring skills online, and everyone had an opinion about John Cena. In early 2010, after defeating Batista at WrestleMania 26, Cena reached his absolute prime as Super Cena. After this, he would still win titles. He would bury the Nexus. He would go on to become a world-famous meme. But for those 5 years from 2005 to 2010, from Royal Rumble 2005 to WrestleMania 26, from the chain gang leader to the face of the WWE, John Cena was special. He was a main event star. He was the name fans paid to see. He was the guy everyone looked up to. For those 5 years, Super Cena was truly invincible.
Damn, so Cena did all of that over a course of 5 years. Like, he legit became an icon in 5 years, had some classic rivalries, classic moments. That's crazy, man. I'm actually proud of seeing Cena get to where he was, though, because if I had to put money on it, based on the gimmick he came in with, he wasn't gonna make it. But he did make it. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? He made it. Give him a round of applause for that. And became a cultural icon and an icon within wrestling, man. So shout out to Cena, man. That's all we got, man. We'll see you next time.